the point of what we're here to do, our purpose of life, in life rather, ever since time evolved in this world and how this world has evolved. And we, the peoples of the United Nations, in order to unite, what we are here to learn, to remember, how to be different, how to really become the change we want to see. And this is how our world operates. This is, of course, our truth. This is our value. These are our values. This is how we perform and how function, how we become in this world. The truth is that we all have suffering. The truth is that life is challenging for each and every one of us. As we were thrown out into this world, we were born in this world, everybody trying to survive and get by. And nowadays, and through the ages, through the decades and centuries, we have evolved a society where everything is mechanized, and we have our technology, quite amazing, the evolutionary leaps there. But when it comes to our emotions and our spirituality, we haven't really evolved much. Actually, in this regard, we are still in the Stone Ages, because we're just so caught up in this world, the world that we have created. Paradise Lost, which is symbolic of how we were thrown out into this world. There was unity, there was oneness, there was balance before we were born. In the beginning of human history, as we know, there was balance, there was harmony in this world. That's the truth. Then the beginning of human history is an account of struggle, of fighting against each other, of exploiting this planet, of dominating this planet. And so we are here at a very, very marvelous time in our historic development. Very, very important time. Things have reached a very, very critical moment. And what the future will bring? But ultimately it's about creating that from within ourselves. Human beings have time to really be creative and to live, instead of living for and being submissive to the government or to an outside authority. That's a vision, of course, about the future. But it begins, and that's something I'm reminded again of, and I wanted to share that here. It begins from within yourself. That dream. And it starts with going within. That's where the journey leads. That's where we find the kingdom. The kingdom lies within. Life is a journey which has led us from the promised land, from paradise, to where we are today, to who we are today. And we all individually embarked on that journey, come into this world as one child, thrown out into this world, being told how to think, what to think, how to perform, how to conform, how to obey. Obey your parents, obey authority, obey the state, the government, your teachers, and do as you're told. And so we all have gone through that process, and we have learned along this process. I'm not talking about the things we learn in school and we were told. I'm talking about what we have learned on a deep personal, psychological, spiritual level, a mental level, for ourselves, the lessons we have gained as a result of our own experiences, and how we have experienced what we went through, and again what we have learned from that. And so we all have learned individually, we all have embarked upon the path of going through the motions of life and the journey. We all went through that journey, and individually we did. And of course also we all went along through this journey as collectively, as one species. And the prevailing consciousness which throughout the ages, ever since the beginning of time. Created the system we are all part of, the world we are part of. And how that world is and what makes it, what motivates our actions, what drives us, our values. All of this we have developed as a result of the journey. And so what I'm drawing attention to here is to become aware of what those lessons are. It is essential for us to learn the lessons from the past. Otherwise we are doomed to repeat it. And this you have probably heard before. I'm not the first one to speak those things, to say those things. But what's different here in this program is, what I'm drawing attention to is realize to actualize is, knowing something is one thing, and doing it is an entirely different story. And that requires not just the becoming aware of it, the gaining these realizations for yourself, the knowing something, but it's about how to put that awareness into practice. What to do with this awareness within our own reality. Now somehow we are separate from one another. As we became separate, as we were thrown out into this world, ever since we were born, or this planet, so to speak, was born. So the question is, here we are right now, where are we going to be? How can we become the change we want to see in this world? But it begins from within yourself. You are knowing the difference between what you can and what you cannot change. That's also a very important one, and I'm going to leave you off with that for right now. Knowing that you cannot change things outside of you, outside of your control. The things that happen to you, other people, you cannot change that. Events that happen. But what's important to realize is that all of these things happen for a reason. Because you attract that to yourself for a reason, what happens to you. But it's not about changing that, it's becoming aware of why these things happen and what you're here to learn from those things, from what is happening to you. It's really about how you deal with that and your attitude, your awareness, what you learn from it, that determines everything. That takes not only, again, the awareness, the realization, but the practice, the doing it. And once you do it, life will lead you as you become more aware along the journey. And of course, where you want the journey to go, how you want to direct this process of your own evolution, the conscious evolution, which is where the new revolution of this world begins, is an evolution from within, as we are becoming aware of who we are, our true identity beyond the conditioning.